guys, today I'm back with another Journal With Me video, and I want to talk about something that's been on my mind while I decorate. So this is the second time that I have run out of my pre-allotted decorated pages for the week and have actually ended up needing to decorate again. So this is a double decorate. Even though I'm only posting a video a week, some of these are both videos that were filmed in the same week, if that makes sense. So what that means basically is that I'm writing a lot more in terms of volume and filling up space than usual, because my number of pre-decorated pages is built on an assumption based on the average of how often I write at this stage of my life. And I was kind of thinking about this, like, why am I writing so much now, and is it healthy? Because as somebody who's been journaling for many, many years, and as someone who has been in the journaling community and has listened to other people speak about their experiences for many, many years, I'm aware that there is a point at which a journal can become a crutch rather than just a useful tool, and that it can become almost a codependent, addictive thing that is not super healthy. And there are a lot of ways that this can go down. Now, obviously, since this is just a Journal With Me video, I'm not going to get into all the philosophies of that, but I was wondering if that's what was going on now. Like, am I writing too much? Because, okay, again, I'm not going to get into it too much because I like to make separate videos about these topics that are more in-depth, but basically there's two routes you can go when you're journaling like that much. It's either an anxiety problem, like a codependency anxiety problem, like I stated, or it's a navel-gazing issue, where you're really stuck in your own head. And the first one is a problem because you don't obviously want to be dependent on anything psychologically. I mean, obviously we all need basic things to not die, like air, water, food, blah, blah, blah. But, and you know, some things are healthy to have in your life consistently, like friendship and love and family and a cute little fluffy cat. But some things like, you know, excessive sugar, cigarettes, alcohol, like there comes a point when it's like, okay, this, I'm dependent on this and it's not good. And even though those things aren't inherent, well, cigarettes are kind of bad inherently based on the research, but the other things are not inherently bad. And neither is a journal. A journal can be a very positive thing, but when it gets to the point that you are depending on it, it can be difficult to function without it, and that's when you have a problem. I know this is true because I've had periods in my life where I always had my journal with me, which I think is okay to carry it with you, especially when I was in college. I was never in one place for very long throughout the day or throughout my year, so I always had my journal in my backpack, which is fine. But it got to the point where I would be like, I need to like interact with it. Like I would have to hold on to it, even in class and things like that, when it wasn't like an appropriate time, or I would like just have to have it on my lap or something like that. Sometimes there were a couple classes where I would even write in class, which was not good. Obviously, I was supposed to be paying attention in class, so that wasn't healthy for me or good for my life. It was a dependency. It gave me a sense of control, a sense of safety in a time when I did not feel in control or safe in any way. And I even got to the point in college, and I've done this a few times since, where I will actually sleep with the journal in the bed with me, which is just taking it to a whole freaky, weird, my strange addiction level. I'm pretty embarrassed to even admit that, but I think that I need to, because I think a lot of people do get to that point at times in their life. And I just want you to know you're not abnormal just because you have this unhealthy dependence on your journal. A lot of people have it. I've heard other people talk about this as well in their own lives. Particularly one person who I'm not going to name during the pandemic said that she couldn't even, like, she would carry her journal around the house with her, to the point that she would, like, if she's going to a different level of her house, she's taking it with her down the stairs. I haven't quite gotten to that point yet, although arguably sleeping with it in the bed with me is much worse than that. But yeah, as long as it's in the same general vicinity as me, it's good. I do have times when I want to like see it a lot, but like I want to make sure it's within eye view of me, but again, that hasn't really been the case since college. So I was wondering if that's what was going on. The other thing is the navel gazing, which is when you're fixated on your own head to the point that you aren't able to empathize or be cognizant of other people's thoughts and feelings and what's going on in the world outside. So I have a very rich inner life. I've always had the ability to just sort of retreat away into my head, and so journaling really appeals to me because that is a way that I can do that and have a record of it, which I like having records of things, and it's more realistic to me if that, headspace is actually inside of a notebook instead of just this immaterial thought in my head. So that's okay, that's a good thing to be able to do, and there's nothing wrong with being in your own head and being focused on your own thoughts. That's actually healthy to a certain point, healthier than, like, the amount that you can do that and be very healthy and actually beneficial is more than what society currently accepts, in my opinion. Introspection, reflection, the ability to analyze your thoughts, why you think them, your emotions, why you feel them, actually puts you in a really good place to be able to control your emotions, to be able to control your thoughts, to be able to understand that just because you're feeling something or you're really thinking something right now, that doesn't mean it's the rational correct thing. That just means that's where your lizard brain is at right now, and you can overcome that with your human brain. So that's been really helpful for me, especially lately, as I've been venting a lot, but not just venting, realizing that those vents are not rational, they're not coming from a good place, and that, in my real day-to-day life, those things are not going to have any bearing on how I behave. So it's a good outlet in that case. But what can happen is you can go down a downward negative spiral in your journal, or a downward negative positive spiral, like a toxically positive spiral, where you're just like, oh, my thoughts are so deep, I'm such a philosopher, like, I have this theory. Like, I do that a lot, like, not to the point that I think it's a problem yet, but I definitely occasionally do, like, oh, here's my theory about this, and it's like, I'm sorry, am I a scientist? Who asked me? Literally no one. Which is what the journal's for, right? You can say stupid stuff like that, and it isn't obnoxious, it doesn't bother other people. That's one of my favorite things about a journal. But so basically what I was trying to figure out is, am I writing too much now for bad reasons? And right now I think the answer is no. I think I am really getting a lot of benefit from it. I have been emotionally and mentally constipated for some time. I've been having a lot of thoughts that I don't know how to express, even in a journal, that I've just been upset about. And when I have those thoughts bottled up, it tends to lead me to withdraw from people. It tends to cause me to neglect my responsibilities. And so, because I'm just consumed by these thoughts that I feel like I can't talk about, even in a journal, because I don't know how. So once I break through that barrier and start writing about them in a journal, then I'm able to really feel released of those thoughts and to be able to move on with my life, take on my responsibilities, be a good friend, a good girlfriend, a good daughter, a good sister, a good, friend, and just a better person overall to the world around me. When it becomes a problem is when you're so caught up in your own stuff, your own head, that you don't have room for other people's thoughts and feelings that might be different from yours. And that's something I struggle with even outside of journaling. But if you're spending a lot of time writing about your own thoughts and your own feelings, it's easy to get really focused on those things and really caught up in those things, and then you may lose a little bit of empathy, which is unfortunate. So ways you can combat this, if you feel like writing is really helping you a lot, and I need to start doing this. This isn't something I have started yet, but it's an idea I have for my writing session tonight, is that okay, you want to write a lot, it's really helpful, you don't want to stop, and you don't feel like it's harmful to the point that you need to, consciously decide not to journal today. If you're not at that point yet, but you feel like you might be losing a little bit of empathy, or you might be too focused on your own thoughts to the point that in the future you could lose a little bit of empathy, I would recommend writing about other people's feelings and thoughts and playing devil's advocate, even if you don't agree with them, even if you don't think that they have a right to that emotion. Meet them where they are in your journal. Try to explain why they feel the way they feel in a way that you would explain, like, honor their emotions the way you would honor your own emotions. Honor their ideas and opinions the way you would honor your own. That is really going to be the thing that can take your empathy to the next level, because just like it's really important to be able to understand people's perspectives. It doesn't mean you have to adopt them. It doesn't mean that you have to think that this person who got super angry at you for, not driving above the speed limit in your lane while they're tailgating you, they're not right? But maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they had somewhere to be. Maybe, you can just try to empathize with them and see the best in them, even if they're objectively wrong, because that's not how traffic works. So that was just a stupid example of that. So anyway, that was my thought for this week, because I'm writing so much and I was starting to wonder if it was becoming toxic or too consuming, and I don't think so. I feel like I've seen a lot of benefit from it. I feel like I've really been able to take what I'm writing about in my journals and go out and into the world and talk to other people in a rational, coherent way that was not possible when I was journaling less, because my emotions were a salad. And I really think that especially with important issues that may be going on, it's really good to have a perspective thought out and to make sure that it's rational and coherent and not a big, long, angry, emotion-fueled ramble. So you can get the emotions out in the journal, you can work through the logic and the cognitive side of things in your journal, and then by the time you get to other people, you actually have something helpful to say, and you don't have to focus so much on being heard. You can actually hear what the other person is saying because you already have that need met by writing in the journal. At least for me, that's the way it works. I know not everybody does get that need met when they write in the journal. There are people who really do need other human beings to listen to them and to hear them. And it's usually a little bit of a balance. Like for some things, for sure, just writing about it doesn't help. I do need a person to hear me, usually a specific person. But the journal is a good place to at least draft that, at least get some of those needs met, or at least figure out how to get those needs met, and then be able to go out into the world and be a better communicator, and somebody who isn't just like stream of consciousness rambling at people in really unhelpful ways, which is something that I observe in myself when I journal less. It's something I observe in other people who don't journal, and it's, you know, I'm not judging anyone. It's obviously that's how people are. We tend to just, especially if we're in our feelings and we're with someone we feel like we can trust, we can just word vomit out for hours about stuff that isn't useful, or, you know, there's no discernment in what we choose to share. So it can all kind of blend together, and then the other person can't really hear us or help us because there's just such a flood of information. So it's bad for everybody, because it's also exhausting for the person listening. So this is just a great way to overcome that. But you want to make sure that you are balancing that tool with actually being a listener to other people too. And of course, there are people who are in stages of their lives where they are not equipped to listen to others and to help others out because they need to put their own oxygen mask on first. If that's you, disregard everything I've just said. I was talking about my perspective where I'm at. I definitely have my oxygen mask on. I've still got to, you know, get off the plane and stuff, but I'm to the point where I can help other people and by at least listening. Maybe not through deep, profound wisdom, but at least by listening and by, you know, trying to weed out what's emotional drivel that isn't helpful to other people and what's actually useful thinking that might help somebody about various topics. That sounded oddly specific, but it applies to a lot of things, trust me. So anyway, also on to lighter topics. I've been using a lot more washi tape lately and a lot fewer journaling cards because I was tired of using journaling cards. I don't know why. I also didn't use stamps this time because guess what? I didn't feel like it. But with Markings by C.R. Gibson, I feel so happy and pleased with the way that washi tape looks on these pages. Ever since my first markings journal, that's when I discovered how awesome washi tape is because just the way it lays on these pages kills me with delight. So I've been really just laying the washi tape on thick. And let me tell you, I have a pretty big sticker collection and I have a decent washi collection, like probably bigger than most people would think it should be. But the truth of the matter is my washi collection is relatively, like, I'm definitely making a pretty big dent in it lately with all of this washi tape. Like, look at all of this. Also, some of my old washi from Michaels, like, rips a lot to the point that it's unusable because I guess because it's old. It didn't always used to be like that. So I had to throw a couple rolls away for that reason. But luckily this is one of them that I did not have to throw away, and it's so cute with the daisies. And I've kind of been obsessively trimming away excess, you might have noticed with my scissors, like, oh, get rid of the excess tape and excess paper constantly because I just really hate that way that it feels when I pick up my journal with the pages facing towards the palm of my hand and then like some nasty piece of paper or tape that's sticking out like scratches my hand. No thank you. Also, it looks a little bit ugly. Not that it matters, but it's a little ugly for my taste, in my opinion. I don't like the way that it looks when things stick out. So, but I can clearly see things sticking out now, so did you really cut it all away? Okay, if you think I'm here for perfection or consistency or anything like that, you've come to the wrong channel, for sure. This washi tape I really like. It's a bird washi tape, and for some reason the birds are wearing crowns on their heads. I don't know why royal birds makes me laugh so much. Birds in general are just hilarious, but what is going on with these king and queen birds? Like, who do they think they are? You're a bird. You know? It's like, I get the whole crown thing, like, oh girl, don't drop your crown, but you're a bird. You can drop your crown. You don't deserve a crown. You fly around and eat birdseed. I mean, really. Also, for some reason, this page warped like crazy, and I tried to fix it, and it wasn't the tape. I don't know what caused it. I don't know. My theory is that the scraps that I glued up there at the top, I glued them in such a way that the page was a little wrinkled, and that messed it up. So that's really bothersome. I don't care for that, but at the same time, it's one page, so I wasn't about to throw my bag out trying to fix it. If that happens to you, probably the smart thing to do is just to cut that page out entirely. So you could do that. And then for the final step, since I'm not stamping, I'm doing stickers. And these are from my sticker organization binder that I have a video out about. And then, oh, aren't these stickers so beautiful? I just love that spread. And oh look, the antiquarian sticker book. How original. It's not like everyone and their mother has it. I laid down a ton of antiquarian stickers. I did not care about using too many stickers because that book is huge. There are so many stickers in there. There are so many stickers in there. And I just wanted them. I wanted them in the journal. I think they look cool. And yeah, there's a crown for the bird. I should have put that in the same spread. That is a wasted opportunity. I can't believe I didn't think of that. What is that? Did you guys see that weird crustacean? What is that? What is that? Oh my goodness, so crazy. And I was so close to putting, I don't know if you saw that blind mole, but I really almost put that in. I was close, but I wanted to save it, which is deadly. And that snake is so awesome. Of course there's snakes. And I should have put the squid in, but I put some yellow themed ones. I don't know what her deal is, but I thought the yellow ones looked nice with the yellow washi tape. And of course a portrait. And yep, just a moth. I like them when they're spread out with their wings like that.